Okay, hello and welcome back to 𝗦𝘃𝗻𝘁𝗁 with my Dandelion Diaries. We are continuing on with day 5 of the Colorverse Colorvent today. I'm really excited to see because we've had winners the whole time so far. So let's just open up this door and see what we get today. Oh, okay, so it looks like we have a black ink today, which last year they had a really nice black ink included in the calendar. So let's see what this one says. It says the void. There are voids in space spanning billions of light years. Nothing exists there. It is perfectly black. Okay, so last year we had Eclipse, which was ultimately a fantastic black. It was very, very dark and it had a high sheen of black. So I'm curious to see what they did for the black this year, assuming this is the only one we get, who knows. But I think it's gonna have some blue. You see a little bit of like the blue kind of coming through in the glass here. I'm wondering if it's gonna be a bit more like a blue toned black. Let's see. Okay, so the pen that I chose for the void is this gorgeous Mayfair pen company. I think it's Vanyar model in Obsidian Mermaid, which is a blank by Papa J Studio. I love this pen. It is so gorgeous. This is my first time inking it up too. And I'm excited to try this black ink in it because it's like a black pen. I did have a mishap when kind of opening this bottle. It went a little bit all over my hands and my desk. So just ignore all of the black blobs everywhere, but let's just write with it and let's see how it goes. This pen does have a medium nib, and I chose specifically medium because I wanted to see if this ink had any kind of like sheening properties, and I find that medium pens do a really good job of doing more of like a halo-y sheen or showing any kind of sheen in the ink itself. But overall initial impressions, I'm obsessed with this ink. The color of this is dark. It's like soul sucking with how dark it is. It is a void. It is such a great name for this ink. However, it is not fully black. It has this blue purple undertone. It's definitely more of like a purple black or a blue black to the deepest level, but it has this almost red black sheen with it as well. It is so fun. Like, I feel like we never get really cool black inks. Everybody just looks for like the blackest black, but I want a black that's got oomph to it. I want a black that's really exciting, and this is definitely a black just like that. I'm gonna write a full page and come back and compare. I don't know if I have another black or even blue black that's close to this, but we're gonna find out. This ink is so incredibly dark. I'm obsessed. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it has this very blue-black like quality to it. I don't know how well you're going to be able to tell in the swatch, but there's kind of a lighter patch over here where it's the blue showing through a bit more. But you see this kind of like muddy brown-red sheen thing it's got going on. Whatever that is, layered with the blue-black base of this, makes it look as if the paper is swallowing the ink. I don't really know how else to describe it other than void, like the name suggests. It's almost like the ink looks like it's burned a hole in the paper itself. It's so cool. I do want to compare this to the inks, like I mentioned, in both the blue-black family and the black. So I'm going to start with blue blacks because I feel like that's going to be the least match, because I feel like I would have put a color like this in my black families, but I have to know if there's another ink like this out there, because I have a fear this one won't be voted for very much because it is such a regular looking ink to most people. But it's so cool. It has such an interesting depth to it, like it is like a void in the paper. Kind of close to Sailor Shigioi's Tamate Bako, which has that similar kind of reddish sheen effect to it where the ink kind of sucks in, but it is nowhere near as dark as the void is here. Let's see what else we have. And it's almost to the level of, no, it's not. No, it's not. We're going to keep going. I was going to say maybe one of the Robert Oster inks I had there, but it's not really that close. Okay, it's kind of similar to Ackerman's number 8. I think it's Ruthsdale's Storming Blue. It has a very similar depth of color with the blue black. Ackerman's is a bit more blue looking. The Void is definitely a bit more black looking. It's also similar to K. Debussy's Warsaw Dreaming. The sheen on Warsaw Dreaming is a bit more of like a black color though, and the Void is a bit more of that ruddy, brown, reddish kind of situation. But they're both equally very, very dark, dark blue blacks. Van Diemen's Midnight is also kind of in that family. So is Kobe's Konocho Midnight, but the Kobe one is a bit more blue. Van Diemen's is a bit more flat. It doesn't have the same kind of pull of color inside of it. Let's see what else we have. That's pretty much it for blue blacks. Let me grab my blacks. So for blacks, I feel like we're going to be struggling to find one that's going to be as deep in color as this one is, because this one is so incredibly saturated. It is so, so dark. 𝗂𝗏𝘃's Pearl Black is almost to the level of depth of the Void, but it does not have that kind of blue toned with it or the reddish black sheen thing it's got going on either. And yeah, I don't see anything else on here. This is last year's Eclipse from Colorverse, which was a really great sheening dark black ink. I personally prefer the Void. This ink is so, so pretty. It's so cool. Yeah, I don't know how else to tell you that it just like sucks all of the light out of the page with how dark it is. Yeah, here's the really big swatch. You can kind of see a little bit of that reddish black sheen thing it's got going on. And the base of this is a bit more of that like blue that's kind of popping through right here. It's just so incredibly dark. And like even in the watercolor swatch I did here, it's so saturated with dye that it just pulled all of it down. Like it didn't even budge with how light any of the colors would be in here. Like this is the lightest we got to, was these blue hues kind of pulling out. I'm shocked. This ink is so pretty. I definitely really like this one. If it does not get voted highly, I would hope people would maybe send these off secondhand, but it's just such a really cool dark, dark ink. And I feel like black inks need to be in everybody's collection because it's such a common color to write with. And this one is just a really fun black. So final thoughts on this one, I really like it. It is a nice wet ink as well. I should mention that. I had no problems writing with this at all. I did have it in this medium, so that might be why, but it just behaved really great. At least compared to the dry ink that we had from Diamine today. I really like this one. Colorverse is kind of redeeming itself for me. And I know we're only on day 5, but everything so far has been a really big winner. And we have not gotten the same color twice, which is really cool. So I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Again, I think this one might be similar to the Diamine one today, where there's going to be a lot of love or a lot of hate. I think if I had to pick Colorverse or Diamine today, I'm picking Colorverse again. It's so bizarre to me that this is happening, but I'm here for it. Let me know what you guys think, like I said, and I hope to see you here for day 6 tomorrow. We're almost 1 week in, and I'm really excited to see what else Colorverse has to offer. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.